and this is your $12 extended warranty. And I wanted to address this a little bit because, frankly speaking, this person is absolutely insane. Now, why am I saying this? This person has posted a video that I have not watched called "I'm sorry, I got too political," in which case I don't believe that they're sorry at all. This person, as you see on screen right now, we are going to go through everything that they're talking about. Now, if I were actually going to do a proper video, which I may in the future, I do not know, I would provide lots of actual criteria to what I'm going to say. But for the time being, I'm just going to use the knowledge that I have on hand because I am more politically inclined than most people due to the fact that I consume a lot of independent media. I look at media on both sides, I look at media that is in the middle, and I try to get a grasp of what is going on. A lot of people will not agree with that, but that's just because we're dealing with Marxists. Now, let me explain to you why I call certain individuals, like the one you're looking at, a Marxist. Marxists are individuals who are lazy, fat slobs who never bathe. They also think that everyone should work so that they can live their life doing absolutely fuck all. Fine. If you want to do that, be that way. I don't care. But I am not going to work so that you can live for free. Now, we are going to actually go on and we're going to listen to what this individual is saying. And there's a reason it is important to call people out like this. No, sometimes it is not worth it to give people who have small audiences like this credibility. It is not. However, there's a problem with people like this. And it is the fact that they should be called out for their lies so that other people can understand that they're lying. Because they come off, they talk, they're innocuous, and then you start listening to them, they start getting more and more and more political, and then they're like, oh, actually, we should kill all of the fascists. Needless to say, they don't tell you what they believe fascist is. All they have is basically this concept idea that fascism is anyone I don't like. So if you ever hear people, specifically like this, call somebody a fascist, it is because they don't like where they're coming from with their political points. Now, we are going to go over this person's video and we're going to explain why this person is, one, absolutely insane, and two, literally a Marxist scumfuck. Now, you will read the hat. It says, "This machine kills fascists." Now, this person subsequently goes out and calls several people fascists, or implies that they are fascist or support fascists. The end of the video, of course, being, oh, I don't know, towards the middle, towards the end, is literally this angry rant where this person is screaming and hollering or playing a video part where this person is screaming and hollering about how we live in a fascist dictatorship. But this person would be put to death in an actual fascist dictatorship. Therefore, this person does not know what actual fascism is. So, let's start looking at what is actually going on here. Let me actually turn my audio to my headphones so I can hear it. Let's begin.
Slop alert. Drama slop alert. This video is drama slop and politics slop. I am warning you now. If you don't want to see drama slop and politics slop about the VTuber community, then I suggest you do not watch this video. Thank you for your attention to this matter. So I've been aware of the phenomenon of like right-wing VTuber grifters for a while now.
Okay, so this is going to be the first point that I'm going to harp on, because later on, this person goes on to say that grifting is not being patriotic. Now, granted, that's not what he actually said. What he said is, I don't believe that anyone who is in this spectrum of people have morals. I don't believe that they care about this country, and they're not activisty enough for me, so therefore they're grifters. Okay, first of all, let me explain to you why that is utterly stupid, and why I hate Marxist scumfucks like yourself. And the reason is because you stupid inadequate individuals constantly lie about words. You change the definitions of words. You basically manipulate language. And the reason that you manipulate language is because you could never win on your own merits. Now you might be wondering, oh wow, you sound kind of angry. You sound kind of emotional. You mean kind of like the video you play halfway through this video where you're playing a person or playing an audio of a person screaming about killing fascists, how you want to go out and murder a democratically elected president who, frankly speaking, is significantly less authoritarian than Obama and Biden combined, but you don't understand what the term fascism means because you're an imbecile or you're intentionally malicious. So, we're going to go on and we're going to talk about this for a second.
I mean, I guess it makes sense that like they exist because lots of VTuber culture tends to kind of skew a little bit left wing, and when it comes,
Okay, I'm going to address this point and then I'm going to go back for a second because I forgot to basically go into what a grifter actually is. The term grifter is a term that was coined to essentially say a person who supports something they don't actually believe. So basically, rhinos, Republican in name only, or dinos, Democrat in name only, would effectively be the living embodiment of what it means to be a grifter. A person who claims to be Republican, who profits off of conservatives not paying attention, and literally votes Democrat in almost every single election type. That is actually the best possible example I can give of what a grifter is. Now, this person says that VTubing skews left wing. This is also false, because VTubing started in conservative Japan. Japan is one of the single most traditionally conservative regions in the world, broadly speaking, despite the fact that they have some progressive values. They are not the most conservative nation on earth. That title belongs to most nations in the Middle East and Africa. We're not going to go onto that topic right now, but that's beside the point. Anyways, leans left wing. No, it really doesn't. You're literally just living in an echo chamber, and a bunch of leftist grifters were like, oh, these cute little anime girls from Japan are making money. I'm going to get in on this and literally inject my neo-progressive Marxist values and then claim that this space always belonged to us. Oh, I didn't say that. Yeah, actually you did. You did say that. Because it was in the underpinning. See, I can do that too. I can make shit up. Except I honestly think you believe that. I think that you believe that anybody who does VTubing is broadly a left-winger, and that's because you literally live in an echo chamber where a bunch of you and your ignoramus friends have all created VTuber accounts and stream and make videos, and you all happen to be on the same political side. Whoop-de-doo, that doesn't make everyone else exactly like you. But this video is going to go on forever if I don't continue.
comes to people who like VTubers, there are a lot of loser virgin chuds looking for a home, you know, who
Loser virgin chuds. Always pay attention to the language they use. And always pay attention to one specific thing when these people start talking. People like this are the embodiment of a grifter. And I mean that as an actual grifter. Marxists are grifters by design. They speak in terms meant to confuse you. They do it as an attempt to effectively make it so that you don't know what's going on. They manipulate language, they manipulate verbiage, and they will literally do everything that they can to lie, cheat, and steal until they get into power. And then they will steal all of the things that you love and hold dear, and they will be the rich elite, and they will bring everyone else down to zero because they don't actually care. Marxists are the scum of the earth, and they should be dealt with as such.
Who feel like they can't find a VTuber who represents their politics, their shitty, toxic, awful politics. So,
Yeah, see, this is what I mean. I, as a person, am a moderately left libertarian. I always have been, probably always will be, unless people like this radicalize me, and they're doing a phenomenal job of doing such. And they piss me off. They really do. This person could potentially be a lolcow. I don't know. I'm not positive. All I'm going to say for sure is that they just make me want to commit war crimes. They make me want to pepper a Walmart. For those of you that know who Pepper is, congratulations, you're based.
obviously there's a market, which leads to the rise of the right-wing grifter VTuber. A lot of them are basically just kind of copying Asmongold's YouTube channel. It's a lot.
Okay, this is something that I do want to talk about for a brief second. He says that anybody who is right-wing is copying Asmongold, despite the fact that Asmongold is probably more left than a lot of people believe him to be. It's just the fact that he is unabashedly just himself. A lot of these individuals are not copying Asmongold. Some of them got their start despite not knowing who he was. Maybe they found out about who he was. And fact of the matter is, it's as if Asmon supposedly somehow created this. I, how to word this without just getting absolutely infuriated? This person and people like him literally act like Asmongold or other people invented certain things. Asmon did not invent talking about politics in any meaningful way. He was an individual that just happened to land inside of that sphere. That's a fact. And Asmon is not a grifter. He believes what he says. 110% he believes what he says. This person, this Marxist, does not. And if he does, then he's an actual ignoramus with no knowledge of what is going on in the world around him. And I would like to give some good faith, but based off of what I see, I can't. Anyways.
A lot of just like Gamergate reaction content.
Okay, so let me figure this out. Okay, so and I'm gonna I don't want to continue to pause this every time he says something stupid. Otherwise, I'm going to be pausing literally every 4 seconds. I'm probably going to wait for him to cover some broader points here in a few minutes, and kind of like get at the thing. It's like LA has fallen. This isn't. Oh, mother of God. I've accidentally created an oopsie. Um,
Just like Gamergate.
okay, he says Gamergate here. This has nothing to do with Gamergate. This has nothing to do with Gamergate. Literally none of these have anything to do with Gamergate. But these individuals always have to call back to their own personal twin towers, as it were. And they're constantly doing this. They call back to something that they think that they had a victory on when they didn't. And then they lie about the history of what actually happened because they want people to not know what happened. Because Marxists are good at several things, one of which is PR, which pisses me off, the other of which is whitewashing actual history. They do it all the time, and they never stop doing it. And he's going to show you videos by Benny Johnson, Asmongold, but with Leaflet here,
and just
Kirscher,
general
more Leaflet,
reactions and awful shitty opinions.
and awful shitty opinions. This person wouldn't know an awful shitty opinion if it smashed him in the face. And see, here's the thing. This isn't even still a Gamergate thing. This is not a Gamergate thing. He is literally just equating stuff to Gamergate. If he had said, oh, they talk about politics. Okay, fine, you're correct. What next? But people like this can't do that. because they would lose the argument. Anyways, I'm going to let him continue on for a few minutes, and I'm going to try to pick out certain things unless I think it is a topic that requires a lengthy explanation.
And awful, shitty opinions about current events. Yeah, no, it's a awful cesspool of bootlicking and bullshit. But you know, it pays the bills, I guess. So literally just today, I made the mistake of thinking to myself, what's going on in the right-wing VTuber grifter sphere? And I went ahead and looked, and was immediately made angry by how stupid this current drama is. I'm not gonna sit here and cover like this entire like play-by-play. A lot of it's very stupid, but just as a
Okay, I'm going to say this.
quick overview.
This is the only point I agree with him on, and it's not the entirety of this topic. It's just that this drama is stupid. Like, legitimately stupid. But there's more nuance that he's going to talk about later that I 110% disagree with.
Miss Lala is a VTuber, has kind of like a 1950s kind of diner aesthetic to her model and her stream, and she tweets out "fuck ICE," which of course based good.
Okay, this is going to be the first time that I'm going to take a step back, and I'm going to actually explain something. This individual does not believe in borders. And they might come back and say, I never said that. You don't have to. Your agenda is a left-wing agenda, and the left-wing agenda is that of which does not like borders. You think that there should be open borders 110%. Later on, you try to claim that you're not for this because of a bill that you cite, except you completely lie about the bill itself. Anyways, this statement is not based at all. He's going to talk about ICE here in a few, and I broadly don't want to cover this, but the fact of the matter is ICE is trying to do their job. And the only reason that they're in Minneapolis in the first place, which he's also going to talk about Minneapolis later, is the fact that Democrats, specifically the mayor and the governor of Minneapolis, Minnesota, Minneapolis, Minnesota. I completely blanked on that for a second. Anyways, Minnesota. Although they are operating pretty harsh in Minneapolis. Anyways, the reason that they were sent there in force is for two reasons. One, excessive fraud, which this person's going to say that there is zero evidence of, despite the fact that Nick Shirley exposed the truth and was literally in contact with an individual during the entirety of his video who has done comprehensive breakdowns of how much money has been spent on these locations. So that's number one. Number two, Waltz and Frey both basically said that they would not be working with ICE. That was the reason ICE had to be in force in Minnesota. Just period. Literally because Democrats refused to help the administration get rid of criminals, despite the fact that the person who was attempting to do it, Homan, has literally been basically a border czar for, I don't know, under freaking, I'm pretty sure both Bush and Obama. So we're going to cover some of the stuff that he talks about later, but we're going to wait till he gets there. But no, this is not based because guess who got elected? Who got democratically elected by popular vote? We voted for ICE. We voted for deportations of illegal immigrants. And we're going to talk about how you manipulate language a little bit later on that, but we'll continue for now.
Opinion. Everybody agrees with this. Based opinion. If you don't agree with this, fuck you. That gets quote retweeted by
fuck you
Rev,
too.
who is one of these just like Gamergate right-wing grifter VTubers. Generally just like kind of a like hateable human being from everything I've ever seen of him. And he accuses her of being a hypocrite because she's a 1950s aesthetic VTuber.
Okay, I will give him this, but I will only give half of this to him. This is 110% a really stupid drama. I 100% agree, but here's the thing. The way that Rev probably sees this, and I'm going to make a lot of assumptions in this particular moment, is that Miss Lala is actually taking and making a glorification of a time period using her VTuber model because she enjoys the aesthetics and probably has some illusions about how things used to be in the 1950s. Maybe that's where he thought how he thought about it, but that's the only assumption I can make, is that that's what he thought in this particular moment, which is probably why he responded. But anyways,
And she hates the current federal agency that's more tame than any law enforcement agency of the time period included in her LARP. And then criticizes her for locking replies.
yeah, that's the lot
So, like,
part
first
is
off,
why I
this
made
is
the
not
assumption.
hypocrisy. This is an incredibly stupid point that makes zero sense.
If what I'm thinking is true, then it makes sense. But again, it's an assumption.
Somebody deciding they want to use a 1950s aesthetic for the VTuber does not require that they agree with 1950s politics. I don't understand where this is coming from. The whole drama kind of spirals into something stupid in the first place, but this being the starting point is so incredibly dumb. His criticism is so incredibly stupid. It makes no sense. Like, oh man, you're a dog VTuber. Oh, but you don't just bark your entire stream and you speak in English.
Okay, this is one of the points of which I'm going to say I very much disagree with him, because that's a false equivalence fallacy. It would be more akin to saying, oh, you're a dog VTuber and you hate dogs. That would be a more apt assessment of correlation in this particular instance. But, yeah.
English? Wow, what a hypocrite. Oh, you're a vampire VTuber and you go out during the day? Oh, hypocrite. It's just dumb. Like, I don't
Joke's on you. That woman is a daywalker.
understand where this even came from. I don't know. Rev seems like kind of a moron, honestly. I've
Coming
never
from the
thought he was a
person who
very
sounds
good
like an
person, but he
absolute
also just
retard.
seems kind of stupid.
Sure.
There's a lot of mention thrown back and forth in this exchange of like harassment.
Okay, before he says it, I'm going to say this is literally the only good point he makes in the entire video. And it is a small segment, and that's it.
None of this is harassment. Rev
Okay, exactly. None of this is harassment. Rev quoted a public tweet. That's all he did. It's not harassment.
is correct. Like, quoting a tweet is not harassment, even if you're mean, even if what you're saying is really stupid. Nobody harassed anybody here. It feels like a lot of people are just like weaponizing that word to make it seem like the person on the other side of the conflict did something like morally indefensible, so that
Okay, notice what he does here. He is literally telling you what he is going to continue to do throughout the entirety of this video. And we're not going to go through the whole video. We're going to go through the first half. And the reason is because if I watch longer than halfway through this video, I will punch an actual hole in my monitor. I am an aggressive individual because I am a masculine individual. Call me toxic all you want to. I still have plenty of testosterone in my system. Regardless, I'm going to back up just a smidgen so you can actually hear what he has to say, because I need you to understand he calls this out and is either unaware he's doing it himself or is calling it out to make it seem like he's neutral when he's not. And therefore it becomes malicious manipulation. So we're going to back up a little bit.
nobody harassed anybody here. It feels like a lot of people are just like weaponizing that word to make it seem like the person on the other side of the conflict did something like morally indefensible so that they can kind of gain the high ground, and all that's kind of dumb. However,
Okay. Everything he just said there, for that particular point, is true. It is a manipulation of language. Again, Note the hat he is wearing. It is a manipulation of language.
However, locking your replies when you're getting a lot of hate, like, that's valid.
Okay, I agree and disagree with him here, and there's a reason why. The way that Kirsche puts it is if you piss into an ocean of piss, expect splashback. Sure, lock your replies. It is within your right to do so. But expect what's going to happen when you decide to say something political on a platform where there's a metric crap ton of politics and is public, no less. If you don't want people who don't like your opinions to respond to you, private your account. It's not that hard.
This idea that you're like not allowed to lock your replies or that you're like obligated somehow to allow people to comment on your
That
posts and like
isn't
be
what Rev
toxic
said,
towards you,
and it's
like
not what
that's
anyone
it's so
said.
stupid.
He's
I don't
calling it
understand like where people
hypocrisy,
got this idea that you're
which it is.
required to sit there and read all of like the criticism about you and like allow it to be aired out. You're allowed to curate your social media space. Like if you don't want to see criticism of yourself, like that's fine. Lock your comments. Who cares?
Lock your
And
comments or
anybody
private
who
your
criticizes you and
account.
implies that you are like required to allow public dogpiling of yourself, just don't listen to them. That's a stupid opinion. I don't know. Again, it's just people finding things to try and criticize about the other side to sort of gain some sort of like moral high ground. I would say
Again, listen to what he's saying here. He's trying to make out like he's a moderate. He's not.
the only like truth of this situation is that Rev's attack was just stupid and
Okay, this is point one, and this is one of the points that I'm going to not break down necessarily a lot per se, but I need to raise myself a little bit. But this is what I do want to say. He says attack here. This word is intentionally placed in this context. Rev commented he did not attack. That word is meant to foster sympathy for the person that Rev is responding to. Keep that in mind, because that is what he just did. Where is this? Okay.
in the first place and made no sense. It's not that he did something like wrong or morally incorrect, it's that he's just a fucking moron. Also, Rev likes
Coming from the Marxist. Sure.
to use the term Twitter freaks a lot
Okay. Hold on. Let me let him go through this point real quick.
when criticizing people or like groups of people who are either criticizing him or criticizing his opinions or things that he feels defensive about. I think that's pretty interesting considering some of the responses that seem to agree with his take.
Okay. So, Twitter freaks is a term that refers to people who are perpetually online. This term was actually coined, technically speaking, by Silvervale, who was literally getting dogpiled because she wanted to play the wizard game. That's it. She wanted to play the game, she streamed the game, and then subsequently got actually harassed, dogpiled. People tried to dox her, they threatened her, and I'm pretty positive, if I remember correctly, they threatened her family. Yes, these people are freaks. They are on Twitter, therefore Twitter freaks. People who are perpetually online, who align ideologically with you no less, and literally sent death threats. And not just did they send death threats, they perpetually spam commented on her stuff, wishing atrocities upon this woman, who did nothing except want to play a fucking game. Twitter Freaks has a actual meaning, and Rev's usage of Twitter Freaks is frequently correct. But alas.
I definitely agree. There are some Twitter freaks out there. like the main takeaway for me from just like the starting point of this entire series of events is that Rev is not like a very serious person. On the one hand, he says that like criticizing people isn't harassing anybody, and then he turns around right away and accuses other people of harassing him.
Okay, this is going to be one of the interesting points of dishonesty that this person's showcasing. Because, frankly speaking, using your platform as a means to attempt to go after a person's livelihood is really not great. And he's going to draw a false equivalence later when he starts talking about Kirche, and I'll dive more into it when he does. However, it needs to be noted. Rev is correct here. And I'm pretty sure this image got posted after Advanced dropped him and his wife. Now, he's not going to particularly mention this in this video, but I will. The fact is, Rev and his wife, who had nothing to do with this at all, got dropped. Let me say that again. A man's wife who did absolutely nothing wrong and who has almost zero interaction with his content in literally any way, got dropped from a company because she happens to be married to this man. A man whose politics would be very normy not even 12 years ago, mind you. He would have been considered a moderate, possibly slightly left of center. But when the political spectrum has run so far left that if you're even remotely right wing of Mao, you're effectively a super ultra instinct Nazi, which is really retarded, but that's beside the point. He's lying here. Or it might be more apt to say, not necessarily lying, but he's being dishonest. He's being deceptive in this instance, because he is showing you an instance of this individual right here, who his name is Vex. I will tell you who this is, because Vex specifically not just dogpiled Rev, and literally, I'm pretty sure they actually tagged GG in one of their responses in an advanced GG in an attempt to get Rev removed. But also, this person, along with a dozen or so other people, threatened to leave collaborations with Advanced GG unless they dropped Rev, which is their right, but they did it publicly in an attempt to remove a person from their livelihood, which this person is going to make out like, oh, that's not necessarily a bad thing, because removing people from society for having opinions you don't like is actually a good thing. Until you say it like that. And then he doesn't agree. And then he's like, well, I agree, but only if it's the people I don't like. Which means he gets to decide. I'm pretty sure the French had a way to deal with people like this. But we're not going to go into that.
For basically just publicly criticizing him. I guess if you
That wasn't a public criticism. That person was literally trying to dogpile him, was inciting people to go to talk about him or to him, and was trying to get him removed from Advanced.
publicly criticize somebody like more than once, does that then become harassment based on his standards? I don't really understand. He's a grifter. He's a drama profiteer.
Okay, again, using the term grifter inappropriately, and he's going to go on this weird tirade later where he explains to you what he thinks a grifter is, and then I'm going to proceed to put my boot up his ass, verbally speaking, of course, because he is... this person is an imbecile. Like, the only reason I made this video is because I happened across it because somebody else was talking about it. Am I going to talk about who? No, because I'm not going to invite the ability of this person to literally profiteer off of another individual. You are going to come to the intellectual arena with me. Or you're going to lie, cheat, and steal like the Marxist scum you are. Anyways, continue, moron.
plays dumb and innocent in the face of any criticism for his awful opinions and his awful behavior. And he shouts woke and Twitter freak when he criticizes things that he doesn't like. That's about it. For the record, there are a lot of people on Twitter who have some really stupid opinions, but he doesn't hate those people. He loves those people. They're his content. They're also his audience.
Yeah, no, see. Does this say liked by, liked by Rev? No, no, none of these say liked by Rev. Maybe this one. Maybe this one. But here's the thing. It's like, oh, these people are responding to Rev in a way that I don't like. Therefore, these people are actually the Twitter freaks. Oh, yes. So convincing, you dumb piece of shit. So convincing. Oh, you keep doing homonyms. Yes, because you are an awful person. You're a Marxist. You frankly are not covered by civil rights, and nor should you be. But we're not going to FedPost.
He's a valueless husk who still posts Gamergate content in 20...
Gamergate content. This person literally can't not talk about Gamergate. Oh my god, these people are actually insufferable in more ways than I can explain. Gamergate is over. It's been over. Leave it alone. Politics, generally speaking, is not Gamergate. Stop.
2026. Honestly, he should be shamed and bullied off of every platform, and he should lose all business deals that he manages to get his hands on.
Frankly, okay, and this is mask off. Frankly, I don't even need to go further into the video. I will, because I'm going to cover up to where he talks about Kirche. And this video is going to be stupidly long, and I apologize to anyone watching this. And if this mouth-breathing heathen decides to actually see this and respond to this, just understand. I am a slightly oh my god, libertarian who thinks that, frankly speaking, you should probably be put down. And that's not me calling to violence, that's me talking about the reality of how I believe. Because in truth, you advocate for death of quote-unquote fascists, despite the fact that you use that term as a means to dehumanize people, not because they are actually fascists, but because you want to kill them, and you want to justify your reason for killing them. Anyone who watches the video all the way through will very much understand, because once he gets to about, I want to say, towards the end of the video, maybe. No, it might have been something else he posted that I saw. Yeah, I'm not going to go through the whole thing.
They're
But
also his audience that he manages to get his hands on. He's a piece of shit. Fuck him.
you're a piece of shit. Fuck you.
Now, of course, part of the right-wing grifter...
Okay, this is just disgusting. Gavin Newsom has single-handedly bankrupted California more times than I can count, and the only time he has bothered to clean up homeless encampments is when he wanted to impress his sugar daddy, literally Xi Jinping from China. How much of a scumbag do you have to be to not be able to take care of your homeless population until Communist King comes forward? Like, dude, stop fetishizing this grotesque robotic monster who can't even cross his legs properly. Jesus Christ.
model of content is to react to...
Also, this is offensive. Like, it's not even just the fact that it's Gavin Newsom. It's the fact that there's an American flag here. Marxists hate America. They pretend to like the country only so they can literally pilfer it, destroy it, and then try to build their own fucking system in the place of it. And then when inevitably it fails, they'll blame capitalism, like they always do. But go on.
to these sort of things, so this instance immediately starts drawing in the other right-wing grifters in the space.
Apparently it's breaking news that apparently they were dropped from Advanced GG over the cancellation campaign, and let me explain to you why this is stupid.
Leaflet is one such VTuber who I've seen their name thrown around a lot. The interesting thing is I actually used to watch Leaflet's content back when she just was like a regular streamer who posted video game content.
Yeah, she covered this in her stream of responding to you, actually. Several people have responded to you already. And she basically said she's always had these beliefs. And during late night streams, she actually talked about politics. It's just you were never part of those. So you didn't know. You were blissfully unaware that your waifu, Opie, was literally a, as you would probably put it, some right-wing chud.
But apparently she realized that copying Asmongold was like super profitable. So like
Again,
it's honestly
copying
insane
Asmongold,
to look at
rather
her
than
YouTube
just,
videos
talking
in
about stuff
contrast
that
with
she
her
cares
old
about.
YouTube videos. I mean, it makes sense. Like she's obviously doing much better with this content model. But like literally watching a Benny Johnson video, like Benny Johnson, the world's most smug sentient piece of human shit.
I'm pretty sure the title belongs to Hassan Piker, but that's beside the point. But by the way, if you respond to this, let me understand, or let me make you understand. I am fully well aware that you would position yourself on your knees in front of Hassan Piker, so kindly don't at me, you dumb son of a bitch.
I just can't imagine like falling that low just for content.
Because this isn't an assault on a specific person. This is an assault on like anyone that thinks ICE is okay. Anyone that voted for ICE, anyone that agrees with ICE.
Yep, she's right.
Them telling their creators, you don't mean shit to us. Because the instant that it becomes inconvenient for us, we're kicking you out. No matter how loyal you were to us, no matter how much money you made us, none of that fucking matters. We never have your back. And that's literally what this says. This is so freaking ridiculous,
correct.
man.
Now, like, notice how like dramatic and emotional she's being about this. Like this.
Okay, this person says dramatic and emotional. Let me explain to you again. It's manipulation of language. She's not being dramatic, she's not being emotional, she's explaining something in a very concise manner. She's not yelling, she's not crying, she's not exacerbated, she is just explaining something. She's unhappy with it, as you can tell, and she's probably a little upset, but she's explaining something to you in her opinion. And this person is like, oh, look at the overly emotional woman. That is exactly what these people do, and they do it all the time.
This is like the facts don't care about your feelings crowd over here. They don't care about you. They don't care about us. If you're a reasonable person, you'll get thrown to the side and thrown to the wolves. Like, Jesus Christ, give me a break.
Okay,
Like
it's funny he's hopping on this as hard as he is, and I actually think it's because he is angry. Like, legitimately angry that he used to like Leaflet until she started posting content about how she actually feels, which, again, not a grifter. She's not a grifter. Neither is Kirsche, neither is Asmongold, but that's beside the point. This person is upset. He used to actually like Leaflet, and she posted stuff that he didn't like, so now he has to attack her in any way he can. And that's what these people do. They find something that they like, and whenever it comes out that a person has opinions they don't like who made the thing that they do like, they have to then just go full scorched earth and burn everything around it alive. Because that's what they do. These people are parasites.
you're just crying like a baby because people don't like your shitty politics.
People don't like your shitty politics. Trump got elected to deport illegals. He clearly had popular vote. He had overwhelming vote. You are just stupid.
Advanced GG can do whatever it wants. They can make decisions about who they partner with based on anything.
Sure, I agree. And this is another thing I agree with them on. I agree a company can do whatever they want to, but I believe that a company that is going to enforce its rules should enforce its rules equally. If it doesn't, then it is literally okay. Antitrust lawsuits exist for a reason, and a company not equally enforcing its policies can get them sued in an antitrust lawsuit. That's a reality. And if it was ever litigated, if TOS and other things like that were ever litigated, a lot of these companies would be in a lot of trouble.
It's a private company. The CEO is allowed to not like the vibes of the partners.
Okay, he's saying this right now, and I want you to understand, he says this, but if a company was doing this to a person that he did like, whose politics he did agree with, he would literally be whining and complaining like a little bitch, saying that they're not allowed to do this is discrimination in some way, shape, or form, and clearly this is bad for X, Y, and Z reason. This person is, again, lying to you. They want you to think they're moderate. They're not.
For any reason, you are literally encouraging people to boycott them in response.
Yes, and she's allowed to do it. She is saying if a company does not have your back, you should not have theirs. If they're not going to have your back, you should not work with them. And that is fully within the rights of anyone who wants to do so. And I'm pretty sure you probably agree with that sentiment, even if you lie and say you don't.
You are reacting to their behavior and choosing to not do business with them as a form of punishment for that.
I wouldn't say that it's a form of punishment. I would say that it's a form of retribution, because those two things are not the same, but that's beside the point. I guess tomato, tomato to these people.
That behavior. You're allowed to do that, but so is the company. They're reacting to the behavior of one of their partners and choosing not to do business.
Okay, he says they're reacting to his behavior, but literally they've been in situations where people have tried to boycott Rev in previous instances, and they stood behind Rev. And it's only in this particular instance that they got rid of him. Now, he's going to make a claim in a minute that this wasn't actually what got Rev gone. It was, in fact, what got Rev gone. Because several partners who were also anti-ICE were threatening to leave the company, on top of the fact that the president of Advanced GG happened to make a post that seemed like an everyone clapped post, clearly showing that the president of Advanced GG is anti-ICE. Literally, read it. Go read it. It literally reads like an everyone clapped meme.
With them, acting like it's some sort of outrageous, completely unheard of thing, and they're betraying people.
God, I hate this photo so much. Gavin Newsom is the most anti-American like person other than Hassan Piker in the United States.
Like, I understand that it's clickbait. I do understand that, but it's like so.
Also, I want to say this is Vex, by the way, and this is there's a point to this. You can't be racist against white people. Dumbass or dumb bitch or whatever they say here. This person is a racist, and they're working with them. And this person probably agrees with this form of racism, which is also fucking stupid. It's like, oh, this is actually not racist. It is. Until you dumb Marxist fucks change the definition, and it hasn't actually been changed. It's just the one that you use because you believe that other people should be able to be racist towards minority groups, because guess what? Whites are a global minority, but regardless of whether you want to say that, and globally speaking, they have less power and privilege. So, ever gonna talk about that? No, of course not, because you're a Marxist.
Dramatic. It's just, ugh.
It's one thing to be a politically neutral entity, and it's another thing to actually take enforcement action on behalf of a political
Yep, she is correct. Again,
taking enforcement action on behalf of a political ideology.
Yep.
They just don't like you.
No, that's not why. It is literally the anti-ICE sentiment. It was because Rev is pro-ICE. Kindly go suck yourself off.
Like, I just don't understand the confusion here.
It's not
like
confusion. You're just manipulating language.
People don't like you and your shitty politics. You are toxic to this country. We want you to shut the fuck up and stop.
It's funny, coming from leftists, they always say stuff like this, and I hate leftists. I really do. They've literally pushed me closer to the right every single day, and I hate them for it. Because it's like, oh, you're shitty politics. You don't know what right-wing politics are because you're so politically captured by Marxism and your other bullshit that you literally believe Gavin Newsom is, according to this thing, you're fetishizing him, and he's like, oh, he's literally Superman. He's the best thing on earth. He's attacking Trump, which is great, while ignoring every bad thing he's done, including signing into the law the ability to traffic 16 and 17-year-olds for sex into the state. Oh, did you not know he did that? Did you not know the fact that he's lost track of billions of dollars meant for homeless people? He went partying during COVID when he told everyone else to stay locked in their homes, and he was at a famous restaurant with him and all of his friends. No masks! And you worship the ground people like this walk on. You're not, you are so unserious.
Stop voting for pedophile rapists.
Okay, I won't actually talk about this. Fun fact. The term pedophile and the term rapist have meanings. And I'm going to explain to you why this person could be literally sued in court by Donald Trump or literally anyone else, despite the fact that they are a nobody. The Epstein files dropped recently, as some of you know, and there is a tip-line litany of things that were basically unsubstantiated that came out about Trump. Which means that we have zero proof, other than a bunch of tip-line crazies, that he ever had any interactions with a child, in any sexual way whatsoever. Not going to get into that, but that's beside the point. He also called him a rapist. Fun fact, the court, literally, New York State, implemented a system of which they backdated a policy, or correction, they retroactively created a rule that would allow a window of time that statute of limitations would not apply at all to any cases at all in the state for a duration of time. Well, that's not 100% accurate, but that's effectively what the law did, the law or ruling did, or whatever they did. This was around the time Trump re-announced that he was going to be running for president. The Democrats decided to go after him whenever he said that he was going to run again, because he's a threat to them, which he should be, because the Democrats are the worst thing to happen to this country since the KKK. Oh, that's right, they were the KKK. Anyways, this person is literally calling Trump a rapist. But Trump got charged for sexual assault, and it was explicit in the ruling that it was not a charge of rape, which is strange to me, because supposedly that happened. Except, here's the thing. The person who actually claimed this, you could not make her a 5, even if you were heavily intoxicated. Like, there are not enough beers on Earth to make that woman anything above a 5. And you're talking about a man who literally serial dates models. Blonde, big-breasted models. This is a woman who barely qualifies as a woman, who is ugly as sin, who is a brown hair, small, saggy sacks, and on top of which was supposedly wearing a dress that didn't exist yet. And you're telling me that's substantiated. That you have to be the most dishonest type of person on earth to actually think that that happened. And your sheer amount of hatred for the Cheeto Man makes it very apparent you can't actually see reason at all. You claim to be want to be factual, and you're just not. You are, again, you are unserious in every way. And you have zero proof, like actual proof, that he has in fact, done anything that would make him a pedophile. All you have is associations with Epstein, and every other famous person on Earth did too, and you're not talking about any of them. Curious.
Like, what is confusing about that? Companies are comprised of people. Those people have opinions. Those people are allowed to act upon those opinions within their company. That's capitalism. Deal with it.
Okay, he's not correct here either. But okay, he's half correct. I'm not gonna shoot him in the foot here. He's half correct. But unfortunately, contracts exist, and if you breach contract regardless of your opinions, you're in legal trouble. Capitalism is trade and bartering, the practice of trade and barter using things of currency or things of value as well as private ownership. But my guess is that you don't actually like capitalism. I would actually bet money on the fact that you don't like capitalism. But again, beside the point.
It's just so obnoxious how like pearl clutching and dramatic and like
He keeps saying
become
dramatic,
they, like,
but
receive,
he's
like,
being more dramatic
for their,
in
like,
this
awful
video
opinions and their, like,
than
awful
anyone has
politics.
been
These
up
are the
until this point.
consequences for your action. That's the way it is. Get fucked. Another video that I looked at regarding the situation was from Kirsha, which was an hour-long video. What the fuck?
Okay, this is just a dumb attack. She literally streams all the time for 3 and 4 hours at a time. If there was a supercut of her video, it's possible one of her clippers actually made a segment set of all of the stuff that she was talking about in regards to this. So this is just
hides her power
stupid.
level in this video, honestly. It's a pretty like level-headed, kind of reasonable take about just like how toxic Twitter is and how nobody was really harassing anybody. The one take that she gives here that I definitely wanted to criticize was when she's talking about like cancel culture and cancel culture being a bad thing, and she talks about the comparison of her behavior in the past where she was encouraging going after people who were celebrating Charlie Kirk's death, like, and canceling those people and getting them to lose their jobs, comparing that to quote-unquote canceling Rev and causing him and his wife to lose their advance contracts.
It's from the Charlie Kirk stuff of going after people for simply not liking him. No, I don't care if someone doesn't like Charlie Kirk. I care if they're celebrating that he died. That is fucking weird.
Okay, so this is actually important to talk about, and again, this video is like stupid long. I apologize. People like this actually anger me to a degree that I can't even explain to you because they like to lie and manipulate. That's all they do, non-stop. And that's why I wanted to address this. Because the fact of the matter is, they will literally backpedal the moment they get the proper amount of criticism, and the moment that they think that they can get profit by shutting the fuck up, they will. Because that's the type of person that this is. Now, here's the thing. Kirscha's right here. Like, legitimately. There is a fundamental difference between people praising the death of their political opponents and trying to cancel somebody because they happen to support a program that they elected to be utilized. Democratically, mind you. These people always claim to care about democracy. Turns out they don't, actually. But that's beside the point. Kirscha's right here, 100%. Because if you're talking about teachers, if you're talking about nurses, doctors, if you're talking about veterinarians, if you're talking about daycare workers, and they were celebrating the death of Charlie Kirk, I would not want them anywhere near me. And it doesn't matter whether I'm left-wing or right-wing. Anyone who has the fundamental capacity to just outright celebrate the death of a political opponent is an atrocious human being. And this person probably celebrates it as well. They'll never say that. Or maybe they will, who knows. But that's the thing. It wasn't cancel culture to hold people accountable for the fact that they were celebrating someone's murder. And then Rev makes a tweet that half-ass supports a democratically elected president and his program, and all of a sudden it's the same thing. It's really not.
This is pretty funny because she acts like there's some sort of clear distinction here.
There is. It's literally a matter of safety and security of not just the country, but you as a person. If I went out of my way and I said, all commies should get the bullet, and that was my content non-stop, and then somebody decided to put down Hassan Piker, and I literally threw a parade over it, you would not feel safe if I was anywhere near you, and you would be well within your right to be afraid and want me to be removed from any position where I could have any influence over you. You don't understand, or you do and you don't care.
Which is based on kind of nothing. Celebrating violence against somebody isn't actually illegal. In fact, here's Charlie Kirk doing that regarding Paul Pelosi getting...
Okay, and again, he's lying here, because Charlie Kirk is making a joke in jest, and he's saying that Charlie Kirk celebrated this, when in actuality, he was making a joke because Paul Pelosi was supposedly in his underwear, which was the initial reporting, and as was this other guy. So there was a whole gay lovers like joke that was going around. Nobody was happy about that. Okay, let me rephrase that. No one of merit, which includes 90% of the talking heads on the right, were happy about Paul Pelosi getting attacked. Every single one of them said it was a bad thing that happened, but everyone wanted to know why. The clip he's about to show you does not in any way say that Kirk endorsed what happened, nor that he celebrated it. He is drawing a distinction here where there is none. He's like, oh, actually, this is distinctly celebrating, while this other thing is not. You just... Again, you're an imbecile. Or you're malicious. It's one of the two. It's insanely wild.
attacked with a hammer.
And why is he still in jail? Why has he not been bailed out? By the way, if some amazing patriot out there in San Francisco...
And see, look, he's laughing because of the whole gay Pelosi thing. It was literally a meme at the time.
Or the Bay Area wants to really be a midterm hero, someone should go and bail this guy out and then go ask him some questions.
Yeah, see, he writes it here. But he is literally laughing about a conspiracy. He is not laughing about the fact that Paul Pelosi got attacked. You literally lied here and juxtaposed your view of this segment, claiming he was supporting the assault, and he wasn't, nor did he. You are lying. And you cannot find one clip of Charlie Kirk where he was like, it is a good thing that Paul Pelosi was attacked. And you're going to say, if you see this video, and if you do, you're going to whine about how long it is. Suck it up, cupcake. It's going to continue. Fact is, you won't find one person who actually justifies it having happened, or who celebrates it. Actually, this is not celebration, and this is a manipulation of wording where you make out like he is celebrating, but he isn't, nor is he condoning or endorsing it. Your side actively condoned, endorsed, and advocated for more deaths on the right. And it's upsetting in a very stupid way. But that's just the reality. You are just fundamentally unserious, and you're comparing things that are not, that are literally, you're comparing apples to bricks.
So clearly there are some situations in which celebrating violence against somebody is okay.
Okay, no, that, again, he's lying to you here.
maybe if you just like dislike the person enough. The reality is that you had a moral objection to public statements of a person, these people who are celebrating Charlie Kirk's death, and you worked to get that person punished monetarily. That's exactly what happened to Rev. People had a moral
This, again, false equivalence.
objection to their behavior and their public statements, and those people worked to get them punished monetarily. It's the same thing. Acting like there's some sort of distinction there is silly, because there's not.
There is a distinction.
Not really. There's a distinction in where you draw the line between what's...
No. You just lied about what Kirk said, equated it to what Kirsche said, and then tried to juxtapose it upon a different situation entirely.
acceptable behavior to punish that way and what's not, but that's just based on your own personal opinions. There's nothing really concrete there to go off of. And also, like, Rev's behavior in this specific Twitter interaction is clearly not, like, the actual full reason for this campaign to get their contract pulled from the fans.
That is a lie.
The narrative that this was harassment on Rev's part, and that's why they deserve to lose their contract. That's obviously stupid. I would agree that none of this was harassment. Clearly, this event was just kind of a flashpoint for something that had been brewing in the community for a while, which, like,
It's
again,
just
like,
not.
circle back to this, people hate you and your politics. They're going to come after you. They're going to bully you. They're going to try to get you punished monetarily. Get used to it. You're scum. You...
Okay, this is the funny part. He goes on to say that you deserve it, and the funny thing is, he's advocating for bullying here. But if people were bullying people on his side, he'd literally be whining and crying about how bullying is actually a bad thing and how you shouldn't do it.
You deserve it. Also, at some point in this video, she mentions that she seems to believe that the ICE agent, Jonathan Ross, was run over by Renee Good.
Okay, this was a mild
I
exaggeration.
guess
Let me
she's either
actually go.
blind or an idiot.
You're an
He
idiot.
said clear proof of video that the ICE agent wasn't run over and Alex Pretty wasn't resisting. Where are you getting this video? Because that's not what the video I've watched from multiple angles shows.
Okay. In this particular instance, what she's talking about is actually the fact that Good did hit an ICE officer with her vehicle. He did go to the hospital, he did have internal bleeding, and had there not been ice and snow on the road, he would have been part of the pavement. And you would have celebrated. So you have no moral ground to speak here.
What video are you watching? Did you like make another AI video?
Granted,
After
she's
that, out of
associating
curiosity,
being hit by being run over, and if you want to play semantic games and say no, he wasn't run over, but yes, he was struck, we can play that game. But you'd beside the point.
I went ahead and looked into her reaction to Alex Pretty being shot, and sure enough, she's 100% on board with the idea that he was violently resisting somehow.
He was armed at a protest that was actually violent. He had been violent with CBP prior to a week or two prior to the incident. It was like 7 days prior to that, and he literally approached. Was it a bad thing that Pretty got shot? Yes, he shouldn't have been shot. But also, if your side hadn't created a literal signal chat, hunting down ICE and obstructing justice, which are felonies, which you seem to think are bad things, unless it's your side doing them, then yeah, no, shut the fuck up.
She also implied that he looked like a pedophile. So, there's that.
Implying somebody looks like a pedophile is a bad thing unless you do it. Sure. Okay, that's perfectly reasonable. Not the fact that CNN literally used AI to try to make him look more fuckable.
This is not a serious person. None of these people are serious.
You're not a serious
She's
person.
a retard and a grifter, and she should be treated like that. There's no video for this one, but quick shout out to Powder, who had a just awful reply in the comments underneath one of these tweets. And there's a couple things here that are very dumb. Now, the one thing she is...
Okay, I'm not going to continue with this because the fact of the matter is, you can see how dumb this moron is, and it's just the reality that that's what these people are like. I'm pretty sure at some point in this video, and it goes on for a few more minutes, he actually advocates for actively bullying people. Also, this is 1,200 people. 1,200. It's freaking stupid. And it doesn't tell you where they were pulled. But beside the point, data for progress. Guess who did this and where they probably took the statistics from, with the smallest sample size considerable. Anyways, the point is this. People like this are themselves unserious. They're Marxist. They don't care about the country. They pretend that people are grifters that have no morals or whatever. They're like, these people are grifters because they have no morals and blah 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 blah. No, they do. It's just that you don't. Your side castrates children. Your side believes that there is no such thing as males and females. Your side believes that life does not start until birth. Your side believes that an mRNA shot is a vaccine when it was made by a company that has the biggest lawsuit by the US government levied against them ever for cutting safety precautions. And they lied for months until they were subpoenaed recently about the amount of injuries due to their shot. These people believe that you should be forced to do a vaccine passport. They don't support the First Amendment. They don't support the Second Amendment. And they actively tell you that they don't support the First or Second Amendment. Sitting Democrats have explained on numerous occasions that the First Amendment is holding the United States back and have actually put in policies to try to get rid of the Second Amendment. And it's worse than that, actually, because many of them have actually also turned down legislation that would deport illegals in this country who are guilty of violent crimes like rape, diddling children, and murder. For the person who supposedly cares about this country and supposedly cares about rape, and he's actually talking about immigrants in this particular segment right here, but again, not going to go into it. One of the things that you have to understand is these people use weasel words. They say the word immigrant to make you think we're talking about people here legally. We are talking about people here illegally who are often not vetted and who are guilty of violent crimes. Are all of them? No. A lot of them do happen to, though. And it's not just black and brown people. There are people who are white who have been deported because they're here illegally. This person is wholeheartedly a grifter and he's a Marxist. This is every single Democrat in the United States. Okay, not every single one, but it might as well be, because they literally support castrating children, promoting autogynephiliacs, and basically saying, who cares if this person who has been convicted 13 times and then decided to, I don't know, stab a Ukrainian woman who was fleeing from Ukraine to death, you know what? Her life doesn't matter because I would rather people who don't look like me to be out in the streets instead. You're malicious. You have no morals. Your double standards are your only standards. And you literally have a word on your hat you can't define. Which is fine if that's what you think. But people like you go on tirades about how we should kill fascists and how everyone are Nazis. Except here's the thing. You don't call people fascists because they're fascists. You call them fascists because you want to kill them. You want to bully them and you want to end their lives. You are the epitome of everything you pretend the other side is. It's sad. Frankly speaking, it's pathetic. And you need to understand you are the problem with this country. You and everyone who believes like you. If the rest of the world or the rest of the United States went straight moderate, we would have a great future. But if the far left gets to dictate where we go next, we end up like North Korea or under Sharia law within the next 25 years. You'll claim that that's not true, but it is. London will have Sharia within the next 5 to 10 years because they also feel the exact same way you do. But they've been arresting people for innocuous Facebook posts, which you probably agree with. Grifters. You literally just misuse the word. You created your own version of what you think it means, and then you label people that because you cannot use the English language in a way that it is meant to be used properly. It is sad, it is pathetic, and frankly speaking, everything you say in this video is oh guys, look at me, I'm a moderate, but also look at how everything I said about this side is exactly what I said isn't the case for the other side. Oh, look at me. Shut the fuck up. This has been your Teardown's extended warranty, giving heel to this stupid communist fuck. Until next time.